on the channel. Forehead itches really slightly. One, hey, today is day 153 in a row. I wish the light was a little bit better. Let me turn on the light real quick. Oh, we'll be right. Give me like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 seconds to get back over here. What's up? I'm back. All right. So, yeah, that's better. That's better, definitely. Today is day 153 in a row. The lips might be a little dry. We have to combat that. I just brushed my teeth, so I just ate dinner, so I had to brush my teeth. Got some new toothbrush heads today. I needed them. I needed those. I needed to change out my toothbrush heads, you feel me? So, but we taking care of our daily duties. Now it's time to get into our daily word, baby. So today we read it from June the 2nd, because we started 2 days early, right? There we go, nice flip. And this is day 153 in a row. What's up, Nisha? How you doing? Welcome back to the stream. This is day 153 in a row. And this is coming from 2 Samuel, excuse me, 19:11 through 20, going to verse 13. We followed up with John 21, 1 through 25, then Psalms 121 through 7, and then wrapping up tonight's read with Proverbs 16, 16 through 17. And now without a further ado, what's up with you, Zero? Welcome to the stream, bro. It's 12. Golly, what time zone are you in? Where you at? What time zone are you in? And without further ado, though, let's get into 2 Samuel 19:11 through 20. Happy Saturday, and let's get this read done. Let's get this read enjoyed. Enjoyed. There we go. Not done. Enjoyed. Then King David sent Zadok and Abithar, the priest, to say to the elders of Judah, "Why are you the last ones to welcome back the king into his palace? For I've heard that all Israel is ready. You are my relatives, my own tribe, my own flesh and blood. So why are you the last ones to welcome back the king?" And David told me, midnight. Oh, y'all must be in the same like kind of time zones. I'm trying to work on getting these done a little earlier then, man. I'm gonna look up at UK time zone. I want to do these earlier because I want y'all to be able to enjoy them, you know? Y'all always show up, so I don't mind accommodating y'all, you know? Okay, but let's keep reading. And David told them to tell Amasa, "Since you're my own flesh and blood like Joab, may God strike me and even kill me if I don't appoint you as commander of my army in his palace." Then Amasa convinced all the men of Judah, and they responded unanimously. They sent word to the king, "Return to us and bring back all who are with you." So the king started back to Jerusalem, and when he arrived at the Jordan River, the people of Judah came to Gilgal to meet him and escort him across the river. Shimei, son of Gera, the man from Bahurim and Benjamin, hurried across with the men of Judah to welcome King David. 1,000 other men from the tribe of Benjamin were with him, including Ziba, the chief servant of the house of Saul, and Ziba's 15 sons, 15 is crazy, and 20 servants. They rushed down to the Jordan to meet the king. They crossed the shallows of the Jordan to bring the king's household across the river, helping him in every way they could. As the king was about to cross the river, Shimei fell down before him. "My lord, the king, please forgive me," he pleaded. "Forget the terrible thing your servant did when you left Jerusalem. May the king put it out of his mind. I know how much I sinned. That is why I have come here today, the very first person in all Israel, to greet my lord, the king." Then Abishai, son of Zeruiah, said, "Shimei should die, for he cursed the Lord's anointed king." "Who asked your opinion, you sons of Zeruiah?" David exclaimed. "Why have you become my adversary today? This is not a day for execution, for today I am once again the king of Israel." Then, turning to Shimei, David vowed, "Your life will be spared." Hey, thank y'all for the likes on the stream. Welcome to the chat. What's time? It's 7 o'clock for me. Now, Mephibosheth, Saul's grandson, came down from Jerusalem to meet the king. He had not cared for his feet, trimmed his beard, or washed his clothes since the day the king left Jerusalem. "Why didn't you come with me, Mephibosheth?" the king asked him. Mephibosheth replied, "My lord the king, my servant Ziba deceived me. I told him, 'Saddle my donkey, so I can go with the king, for as you know, I am crippled.' Ziba has slandered me by saying that I refuse to come, but I know that my lord the king is like an angel of God, so do what you think is best. All my relatives and I could expect only death from you, my lord. But instead, you have honored me by allowing me to eat at your own table. What more can I ask?" "You said enough," David replied. I've decided that you and Ziba will divide your land equally between you. Give him all of it, Mephibosheth said. I am content just to have you safely back again, my lord the king. Barzillai of Gilead had come down from Rogelim to escort the king across the Jordan. He was very old, 80 years of age, and very wealthy. He was the one who had provided food for the king during his stay in Mephanem. Come across with me and live in Jerusalem, the king said to Barzillai. I will take care of you there. No, he replied. I am far too old to go with the king to Jerusalem. I am 80 years old today, and I can no longer enjoy anything. Food and wine are no longer tasty, and I cannot hear the singers as they sing. I would only be a burden to my lord the king. So just go across the Jordan River with the king is all the honor I need. Then let me return again to die in my own town, where my father and mother are buried. But here is your servant, my son Kenam. Let him go with you, go with my lord the king, and receive whatever you want to give him. Good, the king agreed. Kimham will go with me, and I will help him in any way you would like. And I will do for you anything you want. So all the people crossed the Jordan with the king. So after David had blessed Barzillai and kissed him, Barzillai returned to his own home. The king then crossed over to Gilgal, taking Kimham with him. And all the troops of Judah and half the troops of Israel escorted the king on his way. But all the men of Israel complained to the king. The men of Judah stole the king and didn't give us the honor of helping take you, your household, and all your men across the Jordan. The men of Judah replied, the king is one of our own kinsmen. Why should this make you angry? We haven't eaten any of the king's food or received any special favors. But there are 10 tribes in Israel, the others replied. So we have 10 times as much right to the king as you do. What right do you have to treat us with such contempt? Weren't we the first to speak of bringing him back to be our king again? The argument continued back and forth, and the men of Judah spoke even more harshly than the men of Israel. There happened to be a troublemaker, there named Sheba, son of Bichri, a man from the tribe of Benjamin. Sheba blew a ram's horn and began to chant, down with the dynasty of David. We have no interest in the son of Jesse. Come on, you men of Israel, back to your homes. So all the men of Israel deserted David and followed Sheba, son of Bichri. But the men of Judah stayed with their king and escorted him from the Jordan to Jerusalem. When David came back to his palace in Jerusalem, he took the 10 concubines he had left to look after the palace and placed them in seclusion. Their needs were provided for, but he no longer slept with them. So each of them lived like a widow until she died. Then the king told Amasa, mobilize the army of Judah within 3 days and report back at that time. So Amasa went out to notify Judah, but it took him longer than the time he had been given. Then David said to Abishai, Sheba, son of Bichri, is going to hurt us more than Absalom did. Quick, take my troops and chase after him before he gets into a fortified town where we can't reach him. So Abishai and Joab, together with the king's bodyguard and all the mighty warriors, set out from Jerusalem to go after Sheba. As they arrived at the great stone in Gibeon, Amasa met them. Joab was wearing his military tunic with a dagger strapped to his belt. As he stepped forward to greet Amasa, he slipped the dagger from under his sheath. Thank you for the... Hey, you too, Joel. Welcome to the chat, man. How are you, my cousin? Joab said, and took him by the beard with his right hand as though to kiss him. Amasa didn't notice a dagger in his left hand, and Joab stabbed him in the stomach with it so that his insides gushed out onto the ground. Joab did not need to strike again, and Amasa soon died. Joab and his brother Abishai left him lying there and continued after Sheba. One of Joab's young men shouted to Amasa's troops, if you are for Joab and David, come and follow Joab. But Amasa lay in his blood in the middle of the road, and Joab's men saw that everyone was stopping to stare at him. So he pulled him off the road into a field and threw a cloak over him. With Amasa's body out of the way, everyone went on with Joab to capture Sheba, son of Bichri. And now chat, John 21, 1-25. Later, Jesus appeared again to his disciples beside the Sea of Galilee. This is how it happened. Several of the disciples were there: Simon Peter, Thomas, nicknamed the Twin, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 other disciples. Simon Peter said, I'm going fishing. We'll come too, they all said. So they went out into the boat, but they caught nothing all night. At dawn, Jesus was standing on the beach, but the disciples couldn't see who he was. He called out, fellows, have you caught any fish? No, they replied. Then he said, throw out your nets on the right side of the boat and you'll get some. So they did, and they couldn't haul in the net because there were so many fish in it. Then the disciple loved Jesus. Then the disciple Jesus loved said to Peter, "It's the Lord." When Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his tunic, for he was stripped for work, jumped into the water and headed to the shore. The others stayed with the boat and pulled the loaded net to the shore, for they were only about 100 yards from the shore. When they got there, they found breakfast waiting for them, fish cooking over a charcoal fire and some bread. "Bring some of the fish you just caught," Jesus said. So Simon Peter went aboard and dragged the net to the shore. There were 153 large fish, and yet the net hadn't torn. "Now come and have some breakfast," Jesus said. Then the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" They knew it was the Lord. Then Jesus served them the bread and the fish. This was the third time Jesus had appeared to his disciples since he had been raised from the dead. After breakfast, Jesus asked Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," Peter replied. "You know I love you." "Then feed my lambs," Jesus told him. Jesus repeated the question, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" "Yes, Lord," Peter said. "You know I love you." "Then take care of my sheep," Jesus said. A third time he asked him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt that Jesus asked the question a third time. He said, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Then feed my sheep." I tell you the truth, when we were young, you were able to do as you liked. You dressed yourself and went wherever you wanted to go. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands and others will dress you and take you where you don't want to go. Jesus said this to let him know by what kind of death he will glorify God. Then Jesus told him, "Follow me." Peter turned around and saw behind them the disciple Jesus loved, the one who had leaned over to Jesus during supper and asked, "Lord, who will betray you?" Peter asked Jesus, "What about him, Lord?" Jesus replied, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? As for you, follow me." So the rumor spread among the community of believers that this disciple wouldn't die. But that isn't what Jesus said at all. He only said, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you?" This disciple is the one who testifies to these events and has recorded them there. And we know that his account of these things is accurate. Jesus also did many other things. If they were all written down, I suppose the whole world could not contain the books that would be written. Thank you for the likes. What's up, J2K? Welcome to the stream. And now Psalms 120, 1-7. I took my troubles to the Lord. I cried out to him, and he answered my prayer. Rescue me, O Lord, from liars and from all deceitful people. O deceptive tongue, what will God do to you? How will you increase your punishment? You will be pierced with sharp arrows and burned with glowing coals. How I suffer in far off Meshech. It pains me to live in distant Kedar. I am tired of living among people who hate peace. I search for peace, but when I speak of peace, they want war. And now, Proverbs 16:16-17. How much better to get wisdom than gold, and good judgment than silver. The path of the virtuous leads away from evil. Whoever follows that path is safe. It's Jordan Hampton. I just changed my babe so people don't know my government name. All right, bet, bro. Oh, okay, bet. What's up, bro? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm surprised you didn't ask me that same question you always ask me. And now, wasting time under our own power. Wasting time under our own power. Man can get stuff done, and sometimes that is a problem. We do so much under our own power that we think we ought to run our own lives. But Christ's strength is more present when we are weak, and we are always weak in comparison to the power we can have through Christ and the Holy Spirit. If a lot of your hard work is producing minimal results, like an empty net brought out of the sea, perhaps Jesus is waiting to help you fill your net and fulfill your calling. And chat, that is the end of today's One Year Bible Read. 1 second, I'm gonna turn off this camera and ask for clarity, discernment, and wisdom on today's word, and then I'll be right back. Okay, chat, we're back. So let's go over our chapters tonight, right? So we read from 2 Samuel 19:11 through 20. We followed that up with John 21, 1 through 25. We followed up John with Psalms 121 through 7, and then we wrapped up the night's read with Proverbs 16, 16 through 7. We're going to start off reading Proverbs really quickly. So Proverbs 16, 16 through 17. How much better to get wisdom than gold and good judgment than silver? The path of the virtuous leads away from evil, and whoever follows that path is safe. That is a great reminder to remember that what you get from God is way more valuable than what you can get from this place, right? This place can offer you things that are extremely temporary, right? But God can offer you something that's long lasting, right? So let's remember that the wisdom is better than the gold. You know, wisdom is better than the gold. And let's keep on going. So what else did we read about today, chat? So we also read from 2 Samuel 19:11 through 20, and then John 21, 1 through 25. And what do we have from here? So 2 Samuel, right? You know, this is a great, excuse me, amen. This is a great, excuse me. Sorry, I ate dinner before I did the read, so. But this is a great redemption story here, right? Not even a redemption, but like how God turns, how God can turn things around, right? How God can really turn things around, right? David, he was just going to war over the land, trying to become the king again, right? And in this short period of time, God has conquered his enemy and put him right back in his rightful place, right? And that's to also help us remember that sometimes we go through these periods of time, right, where we may feel like, man, we talked about this before, but why I feel like I'm fighting, right? But it's really not a battle, you know. It's a foregone conclusion, right? And David understood this, right? David, you didn't really see David be too scared about having to go to war with Absalom or trying to reclaim his throne or anything. He just listened, right? Because it's pretty much a foregone conclusion, right? There is no enemy that shall prosper against you, right? And David's enemy didn't prosper. He's gone, right? He left his world. And David was put back in his rightful place, right? So even sometimes when we feel like we're falling, it's a safety net there, right? It's a safety net there, right? So just keep your faith, right? Remember that you are still being protected. You are still being guided. Your steps are still being led, right? There's a net there to catch you, right? And you ain't fail nowhere, right? And if you're thinking bad about yourself or some decisions you made before in the past, you know, God used all of these people, right, who are not necessarily the greatest looking people in the world, right? And he turned them into the prophets that were delivering his message, right? So whenever we're feeling down about ourselves or the mistakes we made, we remember that God is extremely forgiving, right? He'll hold you up high. Even if you're down low, God can take you from down low to bring you way back up high. The same way he's done several times, and the same way he did for David here in this passage here, right? So even if you feel down low today, right? God likes to take those people that are down low today and bring them up high, right? So remember, it doesn't matter if you're down here. Your faith bring you right back up here, right? So let's keep on reading. So we also read from John 21 through 25. 21, 1 through 25. I said it really fast. And there we go. We can take from Jesus and Peter's conversation, right? Simon Peter and Jesus' conversation, right? Where Jesus asked Simon Peter several times, do you love me? Peter kept saying, yes, I do. Of course I love you. But then Jesus kept repeating himself saying, then take care of my sheep, right? But then Peter looked off and towards Jesus' favorite disciple, right? Apparently his favorite disciple, right? He was looking left and right, but Jesus was trying to remember him that what's for you is for you. Don't look over there to the other person, right? It's another one of those. I tell you, the Bible beats it into your head, right? But don't look left or right, right? What God has for you is for you. Your job is to take care of my sheep, right? Your job is to lead my sheep. Now, why are you looking over to this what this other disciple is supposed to do? Look what you're supposed to do, right? If you love Jesus, then focus on what you're supposed to do. If you love God, this is a call for us to focus on our path, not everybody else's path, but our path, right? It's easy to look left and right and be like, oh, I wish I had that. Oh, that'd be cool, right? But here in this passage from John 21, 1 to 25, it's calling us to remember that we have our own path, right? And not to look here or here, but to look here, right? And do what you're supposed to do, right? Don't worry about whatever somebody's supposed to be doing. Do what you're supposed to do, right? And I always say Psalms is a great way to learn how to pray. Um, and then we wrap it up with wasting time under our own power. And we try to do a lot of things on our own, right? And then but we're not seeing, but sometimes you don't see the results you expect to see, right? Sometimes that's a call for you to go talk to God about it, right? To go have a conversation, to go bring it up, have a conversation, and see if you can, if God is willing to lend you a hand. I'm sure God is, right? To lend you a hand in the situation, or maybe course correct you because maybe you need a little bit of adjustment, right? So let's just be humble and have good conversation, and focus on our path, not everybody else's, right? So that's how we're going to end today's conversation. Pretty much because my wife just called me and she's somewhere else right now. So these little time periods that we have are very special to me. So I'm a slide. I do hope y'all enjoyed today's One Year Bible Read. I'm definitely sure I got the message out, and it happened at the perfect amount of time here. So thank you for joining me for another One Year Bible Read. And let's hit this outro if you've never seen it before. We all got that limitless core, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. Thank you for me, my boy Alfie, and my boy Eli over there, and my whole family. We all appreciate you showing up and spending some time with me. I appreciate your presence. It's the most valuable thing you can give me, and I really do. I truly appreciate it. And thank you for the likes on the stream. And I just want to shout y'all out one more time. Y'all have made this month the craziest month on the channel by far, right? The growth on the channel this month has been amazing. I really appreciate it. And I made some YouTube shorts, but I want to say the YouTube short question formation for y'all before we end the stream. I want y'all to start to practice this in your regular life. Whenever you have anything that may pop into your head that's speaking to you in a negative way, ask yourself, what is one thing I love about myself? What is one thing I love about myself, right? And just go with one thing that you love about yourself. It'll bring you right back to the present moment. And I just want to lend out a hand as much as possible to whoever it is I can help, right? So if you ever end up in a place where your mind is racing too much and you feel like you can't be present right now, ask yourself this simple question: what is one thing I love about myself, right? And I promise you it'll bring you right back to the present moment, right? And peace. I hope you have a great rest of your day, because I'm gonna have a great rest of mine. Happy Saturday one more time. And check out the shorts if you want to. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Subscribe if you want to too. Peace.